Good evening, I am your host, Jack Remington of the Jack Remington Political Analyst Channel. Today is September 30th, last day of September for the year 2024. I don't need to remind you, if you're in a civilized world, you're not under a rock, that we have an election coming up November 5th. Remember the 5th of November. A penny for the Guy Fawkes, who tried to blow up the British or English Parliament in 1605, something like that, 1610, early 1600s. And he got caught. There was a insider that he trusted that blew the whistle on him. They drilled and quartered him. They destroyed him. Long story short, we need to remember this 5th of November because this country is in serious trouble. I'll get to the similarities between 1980 election and today's election, but I'm going to talk about a couple things about this Kamala Harris. She's the vice president anointed candidate. They threw Joe Biden under the bus when they were done with him after that horrible performance against Donald Trump. The first 3 minutes of debate, after Joe Biden's first response, the debate was over. And you can see the look on Trump's face. If you look, watch it again. Shifted his facial expression while he was looking at Joe Biden very intensely. But he knew he won the debate right then and there. He kept regurgitating things, his talking points over again. He didn't add anything to his campaign. He didn't add anything that he hadn't already said. That tells me that he knew he had to punt. And I know what you're thinking. How could he be punting when he won the debate? Well, Donald Trump is smarter than people ever going to give him credit for. He's extremely intelligent. And he may be one of the smartest presidents for IQ we've ever had, despite what the mainstream media keeps putting his ads out there, the president's IQ. I got George W. Bush as the lowest, and I got Donald Trump as the highest. But I got Barack Obama as the second highest. And that's a different video for a different day. Don't ever underestimate Barack Hussein Obama. This video is about Kamala Harris. When I first saw her in the Senate, my home state, there was maybe 10 nicknames for her, and everybody and her brother knows how she got to the top. I don't need to discuss that. I bring it up when they keep bashing Trump for shit he did for 30 years before he even thought about touching the White House. The polls have Kamala Harris 3 points ahead of Donald Trump in the general polls, except for a couple outliers. I think Rasmussen still got Trump by a point and a half. That Siena polls got Trump ahead by 5. But every other poll's got this Kamala Harris ahead by at least 2 or 3 points. That includes swing states. I'm getting ahead of myself. I don't have a script. I got a couple notes on the screen here to get started with the video, and then I'm going to talk for 10 minutes. I'll set my alarm for 10 minutes. When that alarm goes off, I'll clear out the video, and I'll start cutting it. I'm going to do a few cuts with the overspeaks and the misspeaks, and just call it a day. So my first note is that the ABC whistleblower signed not 1, not 2, but 3 legal affidavits to be turned over to, one of them, the main one, is to be turned over to the House Committee of Ethics. Now you think, well, what's the big deal? Well, it's still run by the Republicans. If they can somehow win come November 5th, it doesn't matter if Kamala Harris wins the presidential race or not. If the Republicans can win the House, they can still start throwing the daggers and darts, and if I were them, I would start throwing them right away. If they can win the Senate, that's even better. Because I keep telling people, I should start a civics class and for everybody, just for free. I'm not even trying to make any money. I watched 15 videos in the last 3 days, and I was off yesterday. My first day off in 13 days, where I didn't have a job at all. And I watched 15 videos of these nice YouTubers, and I support them. I give them likes, I share their videos, a few I actually donate $5 or $10 a month. And they went to Georgia, they went to Tennessee, they went to different states. Well, particularly Georgia and Arizona. What people said to these YouTubers with the microphone, they were willing to talk on camera, which is hard, number one. You're going to get 1 out of 10 people at best. Because I used to do this too. A lot of them don't want to be filmed. A lot of them don't want to be on camera. And they're afraid of this cancel culture. I did this in 2014, 2015, working for this Stronghold Institute for Mr. Paul White. I hope he doesn't get mad about me saying the video. He was a genius. He put me out in the streets, going door to door. Hey, who do you like in the election? What do you think? And that way he knew, I could probably on the side hawk for a full-time job, which I did not. But he was trying to help me get full-time employment. I left the casino business after 38 years and had the goodness of his heart. And he had a good plan. I knew what was going on. And it almost worked, but I just decided, well, if California has gone to the dogs, I don't want to stay in California. But that's a different video for a different day. Here's the problem. The people, what they said to these YouTubers, the ignorance is astounding. It's shocking. They still think that Russia helped Donald Trump win the election in 2016, that their girl Hillary got a raw deal. Okay, so she told that big lie. She paid $1 million something for this Christopher Steele dossier. He was M6 British spy, whatever you want to call them. That's the equivalent of our CIA, or the equivalent of the old KGB of the Russia and Soviet Union. Well, now Russia has this FSB now, which is supposedly better and more informed and more powerful and more moneyed than the old KGB, which concerns me. No one else seems to care. Let me zing that in there. It's not on my notes. And okay, I'll read my notes first and then I'll get to the video. I got 1980 today. I want to compare the elections. And Geraldine Ferraro, she was the first vice president nominee under then vice president under Jimmy Carter, Walter Fritz Mondale. I don't know if his real name was Fritz, his middle name, but they call him Fritz Mondale, and it doesn't matter. And several of the black women that this guy was, he's young and charming, good-looking white guy. He was sitting on the park bench with these two, in between two black ladies, and they were having a great jovial conversation. And they didn't say not one good thing about Republicans. It's only bad things. They've been trained and brainwashed by the mainstream media to hate Republicans no matter what. And how Donald Trump did this, and how Donald Trump did that. And he tried to push back a little bit because, well, it's been debunked. Well, that's okay. I still want to believe it. So that's a key phrase when that lady said, quote, "That's okay. I want to believe it." Those 7 words are the downfall of Western civilization. And that's a different video for a different day. And I'm going to harp on that video for a different day because I really mean what I'm saying here. Those 7 words. That's okay. I want to believe that. That's okay. I want to believe that. That's what she said. That's okay. I want to believe that. And the guy just looked at her. He was lucky enough to get him to sit down on the park bench. That took 5 minutes of cajoling, and they were a 40-ish couple. I mean, they're not old, not young, both working, which is good. But the mainstream media is the enemy of the people. They are the strong arm of the Democratic National Committee and the Rhino Republicans. They want people to think all these lies, all because Donald Trump trying to make our dollar stronger. He's trying to keep us out of the wars, and he was making the country great as it ever could be. And they had a problem with that. See, they can't make any money. Nancy Pelosi was quoted as saying, before Donald Trump even won the election, quote, "Why is he even running? He's a billionaire. He's a celebrity. He's got The Apprentice. He's got royalties coming in. Why is he even running? What about us?" End of quote. That's what she said. So when a lady on this 2-bit site somewhere got the microphone in her face, she's, "Oh, he was taken out of context. I didn't mean it like that." And you will not find that video. It's been removed from YouTube, because I was going to download it, use it for my videos, and it's gone. But I remember what she said, and I remember when she said it, and I remember the look on her face. Okay, what it is, I'm going to tell you all right now what it is. Nancy Pelosi, there's 434 other House members and House representatives, so it's total 435 people, 100 senators, and White House staffers, the Senate staffers. We're looking at 30,000 people with their extended families and hangers-on. They all voted for Hillary Clinton in 2016. Why? Because they all have defense stocks. They knew what Donald Trump's stance was about the Iraq war. And that's what got him in trouble with Liz Cheney. Liz Cheney kept quiet all these years, and she waited until she got the kill shot on Trump with the January 6th shit. I voted for Trump 95% of the time, which is pretty much true. She did. But she kept her hatred for Trump quiet all this time and waited to the very end for it to come out. It could be argued on my side of it that Liz Cheney, if she really hated Donald Trump that bad and he became president in 2016, she should have just switched to be a Democrat. But she would have never won that seat in Wyoming. Okay, Wyoming is a small state, and Wyoming and South Dakota and 1 or 2 other states don't have enough people to have more than one House representative in the body of Congress. You may think that's not fair, but it is fair. Again, when other YouTubers are saying, well, what about the Senate? They're all the same. They're all the same. They're all crooks. The same response over and over again. Very disheartening. And I would just, after 5-10 minutes of watching, I would stop. Very disheartening. So I got this on the video here. When I review it, I'll make more notes and I can expand on that. Geraldine Ferraro, a nice woman, but she was, upper middle class. She was the elite upper crust. She escaped some trouble, and I have not looked this up. I have no notes on this. I'm going by memory. Walter Mondale wanted to run against Ronald Reagan for his second term. Walter Mondale, who was not that bad of a vice president. He was never in the news. I can't remember anything really bad about him. So to me, that's a win. I mean, it's a win for our country when the vice president's not in the news all the time. Now, the Republicans' vice presidents were in the news. Dan Quayle was supposedly, at the time, the worst vice president and the lowest ranking vice president in their history until Kamala Harris came along. These are Democrats. That's what their polls and that's what their news sites are saying. So don't argue with me. Go argue with them. Geraldine Ferraro escaped some trouble because her husband had mob ties. It was like 4 or 5 different trials. And the 5th one, they just said, you know what? We're just going to let it go. We're going to dismiss the trial. And there was actually no out. Oh. Study your history. Learn from the past. Trump 2024, no other choice. Thank you. Stay tuned for the next video. Thank you.